Alright, welcome to episode 85 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today I am looking at a wonderful film from 1985 by Miyazaki-san. Studio Ghibli's Kiki's Delivery Service. Some terrific stuff here to break down.
Jiji, 海よ海! すごい! 初めて! でも、もう他の魔女がいるかもしれないよ。いないかもしれないわ。
Some incredibly ambitious animation here. Let's start off with Kiki on the train. You can see that the train is drawn on a bit of a curved perspective there. We have the bushes going past on the right hand side here. Everything in this screen is fully animated, every frame, every drawing. There's no kind of something that's just kind of held here. You can see these poles are going past. At the same time as the tracks are going past, they're all blurred. They're in a cycle as they're moving past quickly there. The train cars are wobbling that Kiki's on, and the other ones as well. It's just such a masterclass in planning out a scene and making things work as efficiently as possible. Again, super simple shapes here with the shadows from the train and the poles and the trees there, but super effective. Here we have a very simple water background. I love how Jiji is always keeping balance with Kiki there. There's never, even though Kiki's flying around, there's never any sense that Jiji's in danger, is going to fall off. Got these wonderful flowing shapes with the drapery, these birds flying around just to remind us how high up Kiki is here. And then we see some terrific, look at this lighthouse on the left and this sailboat on the right. And these aren't just, panning elements. These are elements that have to be redrawn, changing in perspective as they go past us. When they're close to us, it's more looking down on them. As they go further away from us, it's more looking across. You can see the water wake being animated here. And even here, just to show that this is a lived-in area, that this isn't just, there's nobody here. This is all stuff. Look, somebody's got something covered up there, whether it's a motorcycle or whatever else. It's a nice box there. There's little details on the roof. Just so well thought out. Now this scene, there's just so much going on here. Look at it. We've got the people in the car. We've got all of this crowd. This entire crowd is animated, walking around. We've got these vehicles. Always, interesting vehicles in the Miyazaki films. Now here we've got the parallax as well between the vehicles, which we'll get to in a second. And this here, you can see everything's animated on 3s, 8 drawings a second. That's plenty though. We don't need more than that. And this is where I was talking about the parallax. This is where you've got the cars moving. They're all moving in the same direction, but there's a multi-plane effect going on so that they're moving in different speed relation to each other. They're covering different distances, and it doesn't just look like one image panning across. And even tones and highlights drawn on the vehicles. Extra work everywhere here. Just so much. And the designs and the clothing the characters are wearing. It's all interesting stuff. Now this here, another just much more ambitious than it needed it to be. We've got these cars coming over the hill on one side, dozens of cars going up the hill on the other side, and it's not just going up a hill, it's going over a smaller hill and then up the rise. Here's Kiki coming in the background, this is the whole point of it, but look at everything that's going on in the meantime. All these vehicles drawn out here. They could have chosen something much simpler, but this is much more visually appealing to have this road with a bump in it there, and it just gives us that much more contrast. This shot here, this is just incredibly ambitious. The boards are all planning it out well. You see how strong the storyboards are here, but there's still so much line mileage to go through. So first of all, we have to think about the perspective of the shot. Everything has to constantly be lined up with the perspective. Characters are starting out further away from us, getting bigger, getting bigger. Background details, look at all the lines that have to be redrawn every time here. It's just something that it just takes time. It just takes time and planning and making sure that you're not getting popping, but it's keeping interesting and it's not just looking static. Then we're going to talk about the characters. Each character has a different emotion here. We've got the concerned character, the alarmed character. This one here is amazed. This one here, and they got the couple here acting together. This one's awestruck. That one's excited. All these things, and it all happens. They just go by so quickly, and you have to move on to the next, move on to the next. We have to feel there's a progression with every character. When they're further away, they might not be engaged. They get closer, they have a bigger reaction. There's two on the left there. They're involved in their own business, but then as we get closer, they look up and they notice at the last second. And of course, these characters are all interacting. These aren't all just single characters. There's couples walking along. There's people that are farther from other characters, and they're stopping and turning, changing what they're doing. And then, certainly, last but not least, we have all the costumes and the props. Every character has a different set of clothing to show their, where they are in life, what they're probably indicating what their occupation would be, what their, their age. All these different things. One's carrying a purse, one's carrying a letter, one's carrying a briefcase, one's carrying a package, one's wearing a hat. So much thought put into this. So just dozens and dozens of different characters going on. And every character, like I say, has a different emotion that we want to really put across and make clear for the audience. Love that shot. Now here we've got this upshot. Kiki is confident. She's flying in and very proud, flying above everybody. She's so happy to get to this new city here. And we're going to do this slow turn to go around the background to make it a panning background. So let's break this down here. I'll take some screenshots and showing how we start out where she's coming towards us 3/4. She's going to go into profile, and then she's going to be turning away and back 3/4 as she's going, and we're going to track down with her as she goes into the tunnel. So this all had to be one background that was painted, just one big long background that could accommodate all that. And you see how it is when we play it backwards there. So going forwards, it's all planned out in the storyboards, but still, you needed some just high level planning to get a background this long, this big. I mean, this background would be probably several feet wide to be putting that underneath the animation camera. Again, 1989. This is all painted on cells, shot with a traditional animation camera. Move it a tiny, you move it your 1/10 of a centimeter, take a frame. 1/10 of a centimeter, take a frame. All the way along. Just so, again, like I say, it's so impressive. The dress is going to be, see, the dress is flowing out there on the direction change. Zoom out. There we go. And look at it's drawn straight up here, but look at how Kiki's like taking the corner like she's on a bicycle, leaning into it. Just showing how confident, how competent she is riding the broom around. Just wonderful stuff. And then as we're panning down, we reveal the crowds a little bit. Now these final two shots here, we've got Jiji on the ground. Now the Jiji cycle is animating on the ground. Every stone is redrawn on every frame here. There's a cycle with the stones going past, but just so you can see the roundness of the stones and the tones put on there. Now Kiki's foot slip is very solid. Her feet aren't slipping on the ground at all. Now Jiji, I can only imagine when they were planning this, that they thought, you know what, Gigi's foot slip isn't as important. What's more important is that Gigi's moving smoothly, more cat-like. And it works. When you see this in real time, Gigi looks different. Gigi's moving differently than Kiki. And even though if we go frame by frame, Gigi's feet are slipping, it doesn't look wrong when we see it in real time. It just looks different. It looks like Gigi has a different type of motion, like a cat-like motion, is how I take it. Again, all planned in the boards. It's that little follow word there, just saying we're going to follow along with them as they're walking. Just, I'm just in awe of, this still holds up so well. It's never, rarely imitated, and especially at this level. I love breaking this stuff down, and I hope you enjoyed it too. If you haven't seen Kiki's Delivery Service 1989, please check it out. And thanks for checking out my video today. Take care.